Hello and welcome to How to Helen, where you learn something different every day. Today we are replacing our rear brake pads for a 2009 Porsche Cayman. I already jacked up the car to save us some time on doing this. Now remember, when you replace brake pads, buy quality brake pads. Brake pads are the only contact point for your car to stop from a moving motion. Before replacing the brake pads, make sure you remove some brake fluid from the brake reservoir. We need to do this because when we compress the brake pistons later, brake fluid will rush back to the brake reservoir and it might overfill. So we have to reduce the brake fluid inside the reservoir. Remove the brake fluid filter from the brake fluid reservoir. Then use a turkey baster to suck the fluid. Be careful not to spill anything. Now back to the brake pad replacement. First thing you do is remove the metal ear clip that holds the retaining bolt. To remove the retaining bolt, you need a metal rod like this to go through the hole and push it out. Or you can buy a roll pin punch set like this to use for this job. Now I'm gonna punch out the retaining bolt by tapping it lightly. Slide the brake pad center wire from the metal retaining clip. Using a needle nose pliers, unclip the brake pad sensors. Because the brake pad sensors are almost touching the rotors, it is hard to remove it by itself. So what I'm gonna do is just remove the brake pads by spreading it out and pulling it out. I'm gonna position my spreader on top of the brake pads where there's like an ear for me to position it and spread it out. I'm going to spread out the brake pads as far as I can so that the new brake pads is going to fit nicely without any issues. From the other side of the brake pads, you will have to trace the brake pad wire to this connector and open it to unhook the connector. Just have to pull it from the wire connector. Now with the brake spread out and the wire unhooked on the other side, you can pull out the brake sensor and the brake pads all at the same time. Here is a side-by-side top view of the two brake pads. On your left is the used ones, and on the right is the new ones. Slide the new brake pads in the brake caliper. Connect the new brake pad sensor wire. All you have to do is put it in the brake pad sensor wire slot. Put back the metal retaining bracket on top of the brake pads. Make sure you put the brake sensor wire on the clip on top of the metal retainer bracket. Dab the bracket and the bolt with the lubrication that came with the brake pads. Lightly tap the retaining bolt back into its position. Make sure that the hole is facing up so you can put the ear clip later without any problems. Put the metal E-clip back in its position. Put the brake pad wires back on its clips. Reconnect the brake pad sensor wire to connector plugs. and lock down the top cover. After doing this side, you need to pump the brakes so the brake fluid will come down from the brake reservoir. Then you can do the brake pads on the other side. So that's how you replace brake pads on a 2009 Porsche Cayman. This has been another episode of How to Helen. Thank you for watching.